In the Brown v. Board of Education of Topeka case, the Supreme Court ruled unanimously that racial segregation of children in public schools was unconstitutional. It was one of the cornerstones of the civil rights movement and helped establish the precedent that separate but equal education and other service weren't equal at all. African American students had been denied admittance to certain public schools based on laws that allowed public education to be segregated by race. They argued that such segregation violated the Equal Protection Clause of the 14th Amendment. The plaintiffs were denied relief in the lower courts based on the Plessy v. Ferguson case. The famous landmark case, Brown v. the Board of Education, involved a 9-year-old girl named Linda Brown when she was refused to attend an all-white elementary school in Topeka, Kansas. Oliver Brown, Linda's father, was the prime plaintiff in this case. The court declared state laws establishing separate public schools for black and white students to be unconstitutional. Schools were required to be desegregated as a result of this ruling. Through the 1960s, the U.S. had a racially segregated system of schools. This was despite the 1954 Brown v. Board Supreme Court ruling. By the late 1970s, segregated schooling in the U.S. was eliminated. Brown v. Board of Education was a major contribution to the civil rights movement as well as the education system because it allowed for the desegregation of public housing, public accommodations, and institutions of education.